movie notes on Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets. It's a 2017 film, and this is my 8 October 2024 viewing. I just finished viewing this today, Tuesday, 8 October 2024. I'm Tanis Leonhardi, she, her, hers of Seattle. My description for this viewing is, it's a fiction film about a male, Valerian, female, Laureline, duo attempting to help secure the universe safe from harm, including preserve a city in space named Alpha and restore a displaced species to their planet. Their/a planet, but it's like their planet, but like the planet got destroyed. It's like, okay. So that's the plot. So I saw this in theaters, and before I go into my recounting what I saw in theaters and do the plot, so I've seen it before, because it can be a bit hard to follow, and I was trying to figure out why it's so hard to follow. As the harm-doing entities, or who's kind of being followed throughout, do not manifest as human, kind of, really. So, like, it's like an ever-changing who are the bad guys, and there's a bunch of, like, different forms for the bad guy introduced, so it's kind of like, I'm, like, watching, and I was like, there's a lot going on, but it's not just that there's a lot going on. It's like, it's not like it's the same thing through each of the scenes. It's like in the different things, there are different bad guys for each thing. So it's kind of like, so that's what I came up with as for like why the plot is kind of hard to follow for this viewing. So my Dane, okay, this guy is like 6 years older than me. I was like, I think, is it the last line of the movie? It's one of a line at the end from Dane's character. So he wants I want only your name on my playlist. A line at the end from Dane's character. So he wants a befriending Dane Leonhardi playlist. Some dudes are really good at predicting me, down to like every little detail, and that can be preserved because it's 7 years in advance, approximately 7 years in advance. So in-person viewing, my experience, so I within approximately 24 hours of release, so I did see it within approximately 24 hours of release. I was trying to think of if I've done that for any other movies, and that's possible, but it was not. So yeah. So I was like, okay, well then what is the but not necessarily, so I'm like, what was a first, it's the first movie I got a collectible ticket for. So I was early enough that I got ticket 135 of 1,000. I saw this at the Theater UA Berkeley 7 in Berkeley, California, United States of America, Planet Earth, the original. And I went alone and I saw it. I enjoyed myself. I really liked the thing that poops pearls, the little animal that poops pearls. It's like you know, nowadays it's like where a hedgehog meets, what is a bronchiosaurus meets a squirrel. It's very cute. So yeah, and I still thought it was very cute this time through. It has Cara Delevingne and Dane DeHaan. Yeah, so that's kind of the notes, and then thinking through some of the other stuff that is timely related. Even though I did not win the 2024 Nobel Prize in Physics, I still want my date to be Dane if/when I win. Meaning of CO bonding, carbon-oxygen bonding for research and us. So I did some research on carbon and oxygen and kind of how they interact, the chemical elements under high temperatures and pressures. And carbon and oxygen in that bond under more standard conditions is known as like the strongest bond between any two chemical elements. So yes, it's not titanium that's the strongest, and in fact some of the transition metals can have relatively weak bonding, but carbon and oxygen. And so there's a little bit of like concern over like taking, and because of how people kind of interpret and kind of run with science, whether it's true or not, and like how they choose to encrypt it for themselves, that carbon and the oxygen, right, if I'm take a male date then one of us is carbon and one of us is oxygen if people encrypt it in terms of like the person and their date. All right. So I'm gonna read. So okay, I would do, so for my floor length gown, evening gown would be faint lilac purple color, and he would wear the white tie of Fred Astaire. Oh, and people want to know what subcategory of physics that falls into. It'd be condensed matter physics. And different materials matter for gas giants versus ice giants versus terrestrial planets. So in our solar system, there's terrestrial planets like Earth, gas giants like Jupiter, and ice giants like Uranus. And so for my findings, it was in what was published at the time, and when I published my study and stuff, most relevant for potentially for Uranus. Not necessarily, but potentially, right? At the time, what can we, whatever. Okay. What if I am told I won the Nobel Prize in Physics when getting back in from fieldwork? So what if I go out for fieldwork and then I'm like getting back and I'm unpacking my car and there's like this crew and they're like, you won. And I'll be like, okay. So there's like multiple, there's like two components. There's the announcement and then the awarding. So then does it get awarded as soon as possible after announcement in this case? So like get as output how long that is without rushing. My only request is no fear mongering. So if they wanted to experiment and be like, let's do a kind of like non-routine announcement and then like see how soon we can get it done without rushing as like an output, I'd be up for being that experimental, that guinea pig, that hamster. My only request is no fear mongering. Okay. Okay. And then returning to, I brought up computer games this morning. Returning to playing computer games in my future. PhD in physics in Italy. So I was like, is there a way that could be integrated? Do I return to handwritten notes as I play? So I used to take handwritten notes as I played the computer games. Do Sacred Saturdays return? I have been waiting my entire adulthood for Sacred Saturdays to return. It would be a dream come true, a miracle from my men and the squirrels. Living in Italy, would gelato be one of my sweet treats for the day? So Sacred Saturdays, I tended to like, we'd go grocery shopping and I'd get like, you know, a tiny little like miniature French baguette or like dried apple chips. I know, or that kind of stuff. I'd get like things I really liked and I would eat those, and I would like, so I had like my like ritual foods for Sacred Saturdays and playing computer games. And I was like, well, if we're living in Italy, what about gelato? And do we go have a routine gelato place? Do we go out to someplace new, get gelato in the morning? Or is it an afternoon, a break, you know? And then do I do a Yelp review? Oh, and as a way of like protecting the sacredness of the computer game playing. I don't know. I thought it was fun. I was like, it would be fun. So this is my movie notes on Valerian and the City of 1,000 Planets 2017 film, 8 October 2024. And the movie also does just go by Valerian. And I am Tanis Coralie Leonhardi, she, her, hers of Seattle. I didn't say that already. And Norway and the United States of America.